What's up YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here, and in this episode I'm gonna talk about Cawthon's deck. Cawthon made it to 2nd place in the Master Division at the World Championship, all thanks to his unique deck choice that nobody had ever seen before. Let me explain what was in it. Reuniclus, Vileplume, Donphan Prime, Blizzy Prime, Anti and Suicune Legend, Zekrom, Pichu, and Cleffa. Now you may think, what the heck, those are too many different Pokemon to be in one deck. How the hell can I win with this? Well, it's really genius actually. This deck uses damage counter manipulation to prevent your opponent from taking any prize cards with Reuniclus Pokepower called Damage Swap. The Vileplumes are in it mainly because of the trainer lock. That way your opponent is in a bad situation while you can just manipulate your own damage to prevent knockouts on your side of the field. Up next we have Donphan Prime, one of your main attackers, which is a fast stage 1 attacker that only needs 1 energy to attack. It can do Earthquake and deal 60 damage for a simple fighting energy. The only downside is hitting your entire bench for 10 damage as well. But with Reuniclus Pokepower, you can just replace those damage counters anywhere you like. I suggest putting them on Vileplume because he isn't one of your attackers. Or you can put them on Zekrom, which is even better, because Zekrom has an attack called Outrage, which deals 20 damage plus 10 more for each damage counter on him, for only a double colorless energy. So you can manipulate the damage counters on your side of the field and put as many as you like on Zekrom, and that way you can deal a maximum of 140 damage for a simple double colorless energy. Also, Blizzy Prime is in the deck because of his Pokepower called Blissful Nurse, which lets you remove all damage counters from all of your Pokemon that have damage counters on them, and then discard all energies attached to them, which can also work in your favor compared with Reuniclus Damage Swap. Also, there's a Legend card in this deck, which is kinda unique in this format because not many players use a Legend card in their deck, but Ross decided to put in Anti and Suicune Legend because of the types this Pokemon has. It has Fire type as well as a Water type, meaning it can take down Fire Pokemon like Typhlosion Prime and Reshiram with a single blow, as well as taking down Donphan Primes, so that was a pretty smart decision too. And lastly, he put in Cleffa for the consistency and a Pichu to bring out all his bench Pokemon in one turn, because Pichu has an awesome attack called Playground, which lets you and your opponent put as many basic Pokemon from their deck onto their bench, which can also work in the favor of your opponent, but still, if you know what strategy to use, Pichu can be the key to bringing out all those basic Pokemon you need. And this deck also stops your opponent from playing Rare Candies, Switches, Junk Arms, and many other trainers because of Vileplume's trainer lock. I think this is a very fun deck to try out because it has lots of variety and it's nice to have lots of different types in your deck. Here's the deck list. So we see that he also put in a Tropical Beach card, which is a promo card given only to the people that competed in the World Championship the night before the event started. So he even put in a card that he hadn't tested out before, which shows he also likes to take risks, and that's why he became 2nd. And the other trainer cards are just standard ones like Twins, Sage Training, Pokemon Collector, Seeker, Copycat, Professor Oak's New Theory, Pokemon Communication, and of course Rare Candy. Now we see that the strategy of this deck was to fall behind in the first turns of the battle and then use Twins to come back and set up your entire field. That's why Twins was maximized to 4 copies, and the energies he used were 4 double colorless energies, 4 rainbow energies, 2 fighting energies, and a fire energy. So he didn't put in any psychic or grass energies because Reuniclus and Vileplume were only used for their Pokepower and Pokebody. I recommend trying this deck out as it will become more popular in the future, so there will be lots of similar decks out there. Also, with the new emerging power set out now, people will definitely put in a Pokemon Catcher or maybe a Max Potion to improve this deck even more. And now to Poké News. The return of the EX cards is now officially confirmed, and there are 2 new EX cards that leaked on the internet with better quality. We have Kyurem EX and Regigigas EX. Both look incredibly awesome and they have an HP of 180 for a basic, which is just massive. Let's see what Kyurem EX can do. Well, his first attack is called Freezing Wing and it deals 60 damage, plus you can discard a special energy card attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. His second attack is called Hail Blizzard and it deals 120 damage, and Kyurem EX can use this attack on his next turn. He has a ×2 weakness to Steel, which is pretty awesome because nowadays Steel Pokemon aren't that common in this format, and his retreat cost is 3, which is kinda bad with Pokemon Catcher out there. So when this card is released, I don't know yet if it's gonna be big or not, we'll have to wait and see. The next EX card is Regigigas EX, and with his first attack called Giga Power, he deals 60 damage plus 20 more for each number you choose. But the higher the number, the higher the damage you'll do to yourself. In other words, the amount of damage you like to add, you also do that damage to yourself. For example, you can do 60 damage plus 40 more, but then you'll deal 40 damage to yourself. which is kinda great for 3 colorless energies, because Regigigas has a really high HP. Now to his second attack, which will be called Raging Hammer. This deals 50 damage plus 10 more for each damage counter on Regigigas EX, which is amazing because you can build up his attack with Giga Power, and for just 2 double colorless energies and the fact that the maximum damage this attack can deal is 220, this card will definitely be more popular than Kyurem EX. But this card also has a downside, which is the retreat cost of 4, which is way too much if you want to retreat. So if you plan on using this card in the future, I suggest you look out for Pokemon Catcher and use Switch when putting this card in your deck. Also, he has a ×2 weakness to fighting, which might be bad against Donphan Prime and Machamp Prime at the moment, but yeah, still it's a great card to look out for. And another thing about these EX cards is that they'll have the same weakness of in the past, meaning that your opponent can take 2 prize cards when they knock out an EX card, which is the weakness of back in the days, which is really understandable because they have a huge HP for a basic. And lastly, I want to show you some pictures of some new Pokemon cards. Just note that these EX cards and the following cards are not gonna be in the next English set called Noble Victories, but they will most likely be in the 4th set of the English Black and White series. So the only thing we can do right now is wait for these epic cards to come out. And that's it for this week's episode. If you have any questions, thoughts or new ideas you want to share, post them in the comment section below. This was ZapdosTCG, thanks for watching, till next time.